Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. While you're here, if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to turn all your alerts on, and smash that like button because the king, Nick Gage, is in studio. This is an interview I've wanted to do, especially in person, for a very long time. I think that this interview is a wonderful companion piece to the Dark Side of the Ring documentary that they did on Nick, where they talk about the time he almost died in a death match, the bank robbery that he committed, the match with David Arquette that went twisted. And we talk about all of that and more in this interview. How he got started, his time in CZW, the Cage of Death invasion, everything that you want to know is here. Of course, Nick Gage is a part of GCW that's going to be touring all summer. You can see those dates there right now. And there'll be a link in the description below to all the information you need on GCW Homecoming coming up July 24th and 25th in Atlantic City. And if you want to listen to this podcast, you can subscribe to Notsam Wrestling anywhere you get podcasts. Just search for it on Apple, Spotify, or click the links, all of which are below in the description. If there's another wrestler that you want to see in the Notsam studio with me, leave it in the comments below, or just talk about your favorite Nick Gage story that you get out of this interview. Here it is. I can't tell you how happy I am to have this next gentleman in studio, in the Notsam studio. He's the god of this shit. He is Nick effing Gage. What's going on, man? How are you?
You couldn't say the F word.
Well,
on
you
that
can.
one. Well, I'm Nick fucking Gage. I always start off because I want to give a shout out to my murder, death, kill gang members around the world. I want to give a shout out to all my boys locked down in the cell. That's my Easter Block crew. And I want to give a shout out to my hate club, which is R.I.P. Nate Hatred and R.I.P. my brother Justice Payne. I always start out with that because they are my men in my life. They help me out in my life, man. So shout out to Sultan, shout out to 2-6, shout out to B More. And then you know who the Murder That Kill gang is. That's just the whole fucking gang. You know, everywhere I show up, each state, they show up and they go nuts.
Yeah. It really is amazing. And I feel like that gang is growing and growing and growing, especially now. You're having a moment, man. What is it like 20 years in wrestling, prison, everything you've been through, to now be in this place where you're kind of getting this sort of national and potentially international recognition that you haven't gotten before?
Yeah, it's all fucking awesome, man, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I love it, man. You know, I got out of prison, man. I had to go. You know, we didn't even have GCW yet when I got out of prison, so I had to go back to CZW. I went in that locker room and I was just like, oh my God, this sucks. This locker room is not the way I seen it before I went to prison. You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, man, this sucks, you know? And then I went down to West Virginia and I did a death match and I was like, all right, well, this is going to be, do I want to still do this or not kind of match. So I went down there, I tore that shit up. I felt good. Then we had the NGI 1 and then I got locked up again, you know?
Yeah.
And that went well. But by the time I got out the second...
Getting locked up again went well?
Well, no, the NGI went well.
Okay, that's right.
Well, getting locked up again didn't go so well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the second time I got out, GCW was rolling, man, and then I just hopped right on the fucking train, man, and kept on going. But did I see this happening?
Yeah.
No way in hell.
I mean, especially with deathmatch wrestling, because it's like deathmatch wrestling for me has always been one of the most misunderstood things in the world. Like, I listened to how you kind of got into deathmatch wrestling to start, and it's similar to me. I mean, we did different things, obviously, with our passion for deathmatch wrestling. I still watch. You became a participant, but I mean, you know, I remember for me it was Mick Foley, ECW, IWA Japan, and then your kind of mind gets opened up to FMW, Big Japan, Onita, everything around there.
It's all the Japan stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as the States, I kind of got it. I think it was the shits back in the day with the States. I think it was just guys hitting themselves and bleeding and all that. And I remember sitting in prison, man, and just they would come up to me and they were like, listen, they're trying to get rid of deathmatch wrestling, man. They're trying to go soft over at CZW. They're trying to do this. And I remember telling myself, man, I want to bring this shit back, but not bring it back. I want to bring it back with like quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
The
mean?
storytelling part of it.
Yeah, but also guys that could fucking go in that ring
Yeah.
and wrestle. No, they just like to wrestle with weapons. And we found some guys who like people cast off, and fucking just we found the Alex Colognes and them guys, and then it's awesome. It just took off, and I remember I wanted to put this shit on the map, and I'm just trying to do it right now, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for you, so you get started in like what 1999,
Well,
right?
yeah. So what happened was I graduated high school in '98. I took a trip to Cancun for a graduation present, and then as soon as that Cancun was done, I went and trained at the CZW wrestling school.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like a promotion; it was just a wrestling school. Shout out to John Zandig. He just played a major part of my career. And then we started training, and we had all these guys, my brother and my cousin, and then like, a bunch of guys. We had a good group of guys. You could just see the passion. You could see the guys picking the bumps up. You could see it picking it up. And I think John seen something out of it, and he turned it, into a company.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think, when was the first time that I had heard about you? When did I first see you wrestle? Right. And I went to my parents' house and went through all my old VHS tapes. And I found this tape. This is an original from like CZWWrestling.com or whatever. Pyramid of Hell 99
Oh, wow.
tape.
Yeah.
Chris
comes off with the elbow through
Yeah.
the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the tables on fire, and he drops Well, it was so dope that we had a ceiling that opened up. So what it was is we stacked the tables, and then all of a sudden it rained thumbtacks down, and then Chris came, Justice Payne, my brother, came through the roof with the elbow drop, and it was so awesome. My first match that I thought would really put us on the map was that Break the Barrier show.
Yeah.
Where they had all the independent guys from around the country or around the states. I don't know if they're coming out of the country. And me and Chris just went in there, and we tore it up. Listen, man, maybe the match wasn't built the right way. It was just bump at the bump at the bump at the bump. But the fans went nuts.
Yeah.
And that was our main purpose, to get over. And it was a ladder staple gun match. So you had to climb the ladder, get the staple gun, you know what I mean, and then
did they have a show called this? It was just called The Staple Gun. And it's centered around it. I feel like there was a CZW show in 1999 that was just. I feel like this staple gun is so interesting because I feel like now. I mean, I guess light tubes were always a thing, but the pizza cutter has become a thing. I feel like in that era, that's your thing.
That's my thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you've made it
a
thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the staple gun was the kind of quintessential weapon of the era.
Yeah, I think so.
And
also New Jack was used in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So he's using it with ECW, which is huge. The key to the staple gun is, and I'll throw a little fucking thing out there for you, is some guys like to put no staples in there. So what they'll do is they'll shoot the staple gun, you'll hear the noise and do that. I'll never do any of that stuff. That's like me cutting barbed wire and snipping barbed wire or using fake glass or using none of that. I don't do any of that stuff. So guys started, stapling the dollar bills on their head.
Just to prove it.
Yeah. Man, I personally, right now, where I'm at, I just think the staple gun is cheesy right now, man. I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing guys staple stuff on their face and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things that, if it's been seen a certain number of times, it desensitizes the audience.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you're getting staples put in you for no reaction, right?
Yeah, I watched this one bum do it, man. He was the worst, and he just ruined it for me after that. He didn't know how to wrestle. He didn't know how to do anything, but he could grab a staple gun and staple dollar bills to people's faces, and I was just done after that, man.
Do you get frustrated now when you see like bad deathmatch wrestling? Because you're sitting there clearly trying to put this thing on the map, and it seems like when it's bad or when it's a guy who doesn't know how to do anything except use a staple gun, or when it's just spot, it seems like that's giving light to the stereotypes as opposed to, I think, what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah, it pisses me off. You know what else pisses me off? That guys like to try to get over by doing a death match or doing another one, saying, "Oh, well, this shit's on fire, so let me do a death match and maybe I could get over."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that shit, man. You know what I mean? But shitty death matches, I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, it bothers me so much. And I remember like when I was like, what was it, like 2017? I was on the road nonstop, man, and I would just go to some of these shows, and I would take every booking I could take, man. You know what I mean? I would say no to no bookings, and I just watched some garbage, man, and I was just like, it just pissed me off. I feel like bringing them aside and just yelling at them. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying so hard to make this an art form, just another style of wrestling. You know what I mean? It's not garbage no more, man. These guys can go in this ring and have a regular wrestling match. We're also going in the ring and have a fucking 200 light tube death match.
Yeah, I mean, well, there are guys at WWE now that you don't have to dig that far to find death matches in their catalog from right before, and it's like, yeah, that's just part of the catalog that they offer, right?
I mean, we can name one guy. Shout out to Matt Riddle.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, I smashed him in the head with a light tube in our match. And he was barefoot.
That's crazy that he left the bare feet.
And he still went hard as hell, man. Yeah. If he's listening to this, shout out to Matt, man. He's one of the greatest guys in this business. Just love the guy, man. So nice, so hostile. He was just cool dude, man. And, yeah.
So when you were training, did you know, I want to train and my thing is going to be this deathmatch style, or was it, I don't know, I just know I want to wrestle?
Well, I know I wanted to wrestle. I just wanted to be a guy that could do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to be a guy who can go in the ring and have a regular wrestling match, or go in the ring and do a death match.
Right.
Shit like that. I just wanted to be that guy. That guy. Really, if my favorite matches are technical style matches, to be honest with you. I love watching that type of wrestling. You know what I mean? But I just seen that I was very good at deathmatch wrestling, and I just
leaned in. Yeah. Were you always a fan of technical wrestling, like growing up and everything, or was that something that you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Super J Cup, all that stuff, man. Just loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Loved Bret Hart. When I was like in 12th grade, I did like a book report on Bret Hart. And awesome. I literally busted down everything about him and why he does this, that, and this, and all that.
Well, I mean, there are similarities, right? I think Bret Hart, one of the reasons that people love him so much is there's an authenticity to him, right? You don't, he whatever character he's got, it feels like he's living that character. Like, you don't see a guy who's pretending to be a wrestler, pretending to be anything else. But I feel like that, even though you wrestle different styles, that's a quality that you have. I think when people see you in the ring, they don't sit there and go like, oh, this is a guy pretending to be tough. No, I don't think anybody says that.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I remember I worked for Jersey All Pro Wrestling.
All right, JP.
When you were there. Yeah. And you were in the Hillbilly Wrecking Crew. And we'd go around getting promos with everybody. And I'd go, I don't want to do promos with Nick Gage. He scares me. I'm terrified of that. I'm an adult, and I'm watching what's going on in the ring, and I'm like, that seems too real. I'm afraid of this guy.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I think that helped me out in prison a little bit.
Yeah.
I put that mean mug. I put that look on my face, and people would just leave me alone. So.
Yeah. Is that the way? Because I was gonna say for those that don't know, but I'm sure by now that's such a big part of your story with Dark Side of the Ring and the other interviews that you've done and everything. You go and by the way, when I was saying, no, I think Nick Gage is the real deal. I'm afraid of that guy. And then like a few months later, they're like, oh no. Gage robbed a bank. I was like, yeah, I told you he's the real deal. I told you I was afraid of that guy. But so you fall on desperate times, spur of the moment, rob a bank, piece of paper, give me the money, you get the money. I've heard you talk about how you wanted to spend it, that was the goal. You weren't sitting
Yes.
there thinking like long term here. This is a plan. You're like, let me get some money and spend it real quick. Did you get to spend the money?
Oh, I spent the money, and I won money spending the money.
Yes.
So what I did is I immediately cashed that money out. So what do? You go to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And I went to Atlantic City, and I put just red or black
Mm-hmm.
for roulette, and I won like 3 times in a row, man. And on the third time I won, someone noticed me. They kept staring at me, and I was like, damn, man, they noticed me, man. They knew who I am. So the dealer said I didn't put it on fucking red, and I'm telling the dealer I put it on red. What are you talking about? And I think it was like, I don't even know how much, $800, something like that. So I'm arguing back and forth, but I'm noticing these people, so I just like scurried out of there. And then actually Sanj over there, my girl, she had to sit there, and the cameras were up there, and they found out that I won, and they gave me my money.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got out of there real quick.
Yeah, because you're like, I really don't need to be on camera right now.
No more Atlantic City at all. At all, you know.
But obviously they catch up with you. You do end up going.
No, they didn't catch up with me at all, Sam. I turned myself in.
How come?
Okay. Just, I don't know, man. Just,
You don't want to live with that pressure on you?
What am I gonna do? Run the rest of my life, man? These guys are good with their jobs, man.
Right.
The FBI's looking after me.
And you can't do death matches.
do?
You can't do death matches and hide from the FBI.
I can't do nothing.
Right.
Besides creep through and move around and all that stuff. Eventually, they're gonna get at me.
Yeah.
And also, I thought, man, maybe if I turn myself in, it'll look good. And,
Yeah.
In court and shit like that. So that's what I did. And, I had a shitty public defender, so that didn't work out well. But, yeah, I don't know. There was something really, like, special that made me turn myself in. I was just like, one day, I was like, probably low on money. What am I going to do?
Right.
Turn myself in. Hotel rooms cost a lot of money, man.
Yeah. And you're like, I already did the rob a bank thing. I could just keep robbing banks.
Yeah. I robbed one. I'm not robbing one ever again, man.
That's good. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. But so like, when you're in prison, is it one of those things, like, I feel like, look, I'm not a tough-looking man, Gage. Nobody looks at me and goes like, oh, you don't mess with Sam Roberts. They go, no, you mess with Sam Roberts all you want. He's not going to do anything.
All right, so Sam, what they would do to you, Sam, is they would befriend you.
Okay.
Okay, so they would think you have money.
Okay.
Especially if you're using the phone a lot or stuff like that.
All right.
So they'd be like, oh, hey, Sam, you want to play some cards? Or, hey, Sam, you want to do this?
And I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then they'll befriend you, and then all of a sudden they're like, Sam, I'm kind of loaded this week, man. You mind if you, give me some food? You mind if you spot me a couple soups and stuff like that? And then it starts from there,
That's a test.
Oh, yes, it's a test.
Yes.
Or if they can go the route like I've seen the other route where, the gangbangers will just come in 4 deep, beat you up. Or no, they'll threaten to beat you up and just take your whole canteen and nothing you could do.
Right. So, so what do you do if you... Is there any way of getting out of that, or are they just going to bleed you dry and then...
The way of getting out of it is try to fight. Well, it never happened to me, but I would fist fight them.
Yeah.
Until, they're going to win 4 against 1. But I'm never backing down. I told myself that day one, never back down. Always fight. Always fight for your stuff. Because what are you going to do? Oh, yes. Give it away?
Right.
Because guess what, Sam? They're coming back next week.
Right. Whatever you got.
Yeah.
Whatever you got.
Yeah, and you're fucked.
Yeah. So did you go through any periods of time, though, where you were, like, fearful, where you're scared of the next day, where you're like, I can't sit here and do this for weeks and months and years?
Well, nah, man. I switched my brain on, man, and I was just like, all right, well, I got to go do this. What am I going to do? Get out of it. And, when I went, listen, I've been in trouble with, like, bullshit stuff that's like a fine or some shit like that. I never been in trouble like this before.
Right.
Where I'm in jail. And then what they do is when you're in your county, they'll throw you in there. The cops throw you in there and they go like, go find a bed. And there's no beds.
Wow.
Yeah, I slept on the floor for 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the bed opened up, and I went right down there to the guy, and I'm like, "Listen, I'm sleeping in that fucking bed, man." And I don't. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ask my boy," and I'm like, "I'm sleeping in that bed."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You're not.
Like you have to tell them, look, there's gonna be a fight. I'm sleeping in that bed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
And I was always a big dude, man. Like, it's now like this is the first time where I be in shape. Usually I'm like 240, 230, big stocky. So they're kind of like look at me different, you know what I mean? Instead of a 180-pound white kid coming in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not on top of that, I'm working out every single day in front of their faces.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then and on top of that, man, I don't back down, so they left me alone there, man. Yeah, I just been myself, bro, and I was cool in there,
Yeah.
especially in that max security. That was the toughest one I was at. But
Is that the one that you've been talking where they put in violent criminals, murderers, people like that?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
you have to literally murder someone, have a gun charge or a robbery charge, like a strong, I had a strong on robbery charge. So there are the three things that'll get you in that pod. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
are there any people there that know who you are, like that know?
well, yeah, I was all over the news.
Right.
Yeah. So the funny thing is like I finally popped up on the news, and I was sleeping at 5 a.m. That's when they served the trays for breakfast. But I made a trade with a guy where like, listen, I'll give you my breakfast tray if you give me your lunch tray, because I don't want to wake up 5 a.m. So they're yelling, "Yo, Gage, you're on TV, and they're freaking out and stuff. And then that's when they found out, like, damn, this dude's fucking, he's a fighter, he's a wrestler, and all that shit.
Yeah. But does that add to your reputation, or does that have people coming and trying to make you prove it to them?
Well, that's what I was guessing the whole time. You know what I mean? When's one guy gonna be like, you know what, you don't look so fucking tough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but nothing happened, man. Everybody treated me with respect in there, and I treat them with respect. I was very quiet dude in there. You know what I mean? I did my thing. I knew my goal. I knew I wanted to get home. You know what I mean? I didn't want to have extra time, especially when I went down to prison. Prison is key. Prison is routine.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got out of county, I was on a roll. You know what I mean? So.
And that's where you kind of fell back in love with wrestling, right? Like that's when you talk about what your goal is. Not only is your goal to get out, but like because I mean, I have to think it would be tough if like your goal is to get out of prison, obviously, but there's nothing on the outside for you. That's gotta be tough for you to figure out. Like, no, I'm gonna get out, and then I'm gonna bring back deathmatch wrestling. Or you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do.
Well, when I started working out,
yeah.
All right, so once I started getting to prison, that's when the weights were there, the dumbbells, and I started working out, and that's when I was like, man. And then I started watching wrestling on TV, I'm on TV and stuff like that, and I was like, damn, I miss this shit, man. And then once I started doing that, that's when I knew, like, all right, I fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
And once they take it away, that's when you realize, man, that, you love this stuff.
Right.
So then
were there any particular guys that you were watching in prison that were doing stuff that you're like, yeah, this reminds me how much I like being a wrestler?
All I got was WWF,
Yeah.
One guy was probably when I first seen Mox, my cell.
Mm-hmm.
And Lauderdale came up, told me he got signed. I was like, all right. I remember Sammy Callahan getting signed around that time too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so happy for my friends, you know what I mean? That like it kind of like motivated me to go in here and fucking, work your ass off to get out. I just wanted to look different, man. I wanted to change everything about me. And I just want to take all the good that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All the positivity I wanted to take, and all that negativity that I kept away from me.
Leave it behind.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that since that experience and everything, you've become, I mean, beloved? Yeah. Like, I can't see you being a villain in wrestling again, ever.
I love it, man. There's just Well, so I do these cameos, man, and
Yeah.
I never thought I would do a cameo in my life, man. I just never thought I would hold a phone in front of my face and just talking there. But once I started doing these cameos, man, it's crazy that these messages these people send to me. It's why why me? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, why am I the guy? But then, I kind of start thinking, you're the one that made the comeback. You're the one that fucking never gave up, man. You never quit. You know what I mean? MDK, that's what it's all about, man. Never quit, never giving up on yourself, man. Always trust your loved ones, the ones that really love you and trust you. You know what I mean?
Look, yeah, I mean, look, any kid who wrote a book report about Bret Hart that goes on to have an adult life where they have a 20-year career in wrestling,
Yeah.
just that alone is enough for people to be like, I want to, like, you're giving me hope. You're giving me motivation. The fact that you've got that coupled with everything else you've dealt with, coupled with a 7-year stint in prison, coupled with everything that you had to go through, like, it is not a shock to me
Yeah.
that people look to you like that.
Well, you know what it was, Sam, man? It's just these letters would just keep coming nonstop, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at first, I was like, oh, man, this is cool. Someone wrote me a fan mail. This is cool. And then it would just keep coming, man. Never give up. Never stop, man. Can't wait till you get out. Don't quit fighting, man. We love you. All this. And these are strangers.
Right.
I don't know these people. But if I do know them, I just kind of forget their names. And then they're sending me money. They're sending me $20 bills. And I don't even need the money in there. You know what I mean? Like, they give you a job when you're in there. And shit.
What was your job?
Oh, you want to know my job?
Yeah.
All right. So first, when I get in there, they put me in the kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bad idea. So I get in the kitchen. I wake up 4 a.m, 7 days a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is I'm eating everything in the kitchen. And not only that, I'm putting butter on everything. You know what I mean? So if the pancakes are coming up, we're smothering them with butter.
Yeah, because you probably got one of those big, giant, like, vats of butter, right?
And it's just making them taste like buttermilk pancakes from home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I ballooned up to 250 pounds. And I was like, whoa, something's got to give, man. You know what I mean? So I was looking for a way out. And this one guy came up to me. And he knew I was kind of cool and calm and stuff like that. And he's like, you want to work for the sister Karina as the chaplain clerk? Yeah, right? And I said, sure, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
So I was the chaplain clerk after that was my last job until I went to minimum security. So I worked for Sister Karina. If Sister Karina's listening to this, I don't know if she is or not, but she was awesome.
Shout out to Sister Karina.
Yeah, Sister Karina let me use the phone on the low.
Nice.
Sister Karina was awesome. She let me go to the yard. She let me hit all the yards, and stuff like that, man. And when I went back to prison, who's the first person I run into, right? Sister Karina. Head down.
Yeah.
Feeling like trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, damn, man. She's, what are you doing back? You know what I mean? Like, you're the last guy we thought we'd see you back. What do you want me to do?
Well, how come you had to go back?
Failed the urine test. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Hottie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I tried to put the swerve on the parole officer, but, they got me. So, but.
And did you do 2 more years after that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of absurd for a...
So I have 85. So I try to put the swerve on. So when you try to put the swerve on, they don't like that stuff.
Right.
So they threw me in there, and then I went to a parole hearing. And since I have a violent crime, they give you 85%, which means is you have to do 85% of the 5 years, which is 4 years, 3 months. And once you do that, you have another 3 years of parole you have to do afterwards. So I knew that I had the 85%. If I fuck parole up on the outside, that they're going to hit me with another 2 years or 20 months or whatever. I call it 2 years, and they hit me in another 2 years, and I laid in that bed, and I did that. I did all that thinking in the head, and then I just popped up one day, and I said, fuck this, man. Let's go. And I hit the pile, and I started working out, and it was just...
I mean, I feel like that's the breaking point for people, right? It's not the 5 years that'll get you. It's that 2 that you know, going back for another 2. I
Whoa.
feel like that's where people get broken.
Yeah, that hurts, Sam.
Yeah.
And not only did I go back, I got locked up the day before my show was gonna debut. You know what I mean? The first NGI one.
Oh,
Like, I wanted to give back to the fans, all the ones that wrote me. How can I give back to the fans? Well, these crazy ass fans love deathmatch wrestling, so let me hold a deathmatch tournament with some of the best deathmatch guys out there, and that's what I did. And I got locked up the day before.
oh. So you feel like, I mean, you got to just feel like you're disappointing everybody.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Them first couple of days were rough, man. You're just sitting there, and I'm like, damn, man, and you can like look out the window in the county again, which I'm at that shitty ass county again, and you just see people walking the streets, and you're like, man, I was just walking there yesterday, But man, I never let anything fucking get me down, man. Once I fucking got my head back into it, got myself back in the game, just never quit, never give up, man.
Yeah.
If anybody's out there listening to this and they're going through hard times and you just feel like you're down in the dumps, man, anybody can come back from anything, man. I don't care if you're shooting dope and you're living homeless on the streets, man. You could come back from that. I've seen it happen, it's tough, man, and anybody with mental problems, man, go and talk to somebody, man. It's okay. And from me, coming from me, I would never talk to anybody. I would just feel so embarrassed, you know what I mean? But once I realized to get that shit off off your chest and trust somebody, it's a beautiful thing, man. It really helps out,
Do you think that taking 7 years, I'm trying to delicately phrase this because it's not a positive thing, but taking 7 years off of wrestling the style that you wrestled, may have allowed your body to get to a place where you can be at the age that you're at, still performing at the level that you're performing? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that if you had been going as hard as you go for all 7 of those years, that you'd still be sitting here talking about your next match with me today?
Well, first off, Sam, I was doing, before I got locked up, I just was not interested in it at all. I was just doing it to get an envelope at the end of the night. I go out there, I get fired up sometimes. Some matches I would get into, but I wasn't really, really fired up. And then once I started working out and I get my body into shape, you know what I mean? And started like, some injuries started like going away. Like, damn, I thought I was like, all right, so put my lower back for instance. I thought I had a really bad lower back problem, but really it was just the fucking stupid drugs and the pills I was taking that create the pain. It's fake pain it creates in your body. If you ever know that.
Like a painkiller
Creates pain and it's all fake. Because I started working out and I started, getting my lower back, strong, and all that pain went away. All that stupid shit went away. So, yeah, I mean, of course, 7 years probably definitely did help out, giving me time to rest, kind of lay down, kind of get your head back straight and shit like that. Did I need 7 years to do that? Probably not.
Yeah, you could.
I could have used a couple of years,
Yeah.
7, Sam? I don't know about that.
That's a great point.
How about this? How about that? The 2.5 years is totally blamed on myself for being stupidity and doing that stupid shit. So that's my problem, But did I need the 4.5 years? Probably not.
Right.
But that's what happens when you get a shitty public defender who don't want to fight nothing for you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I just think it gave me a different mindset. And I met some good people in there, man. That's why I rep Eastern Bloc, man. Eastern Bloc is my best friends that I was locked up with. That's why I always scream 2-6. That's why I always scream Eastern Bloc, because we watch each other's back. We always worked out together. And 2-6 is the one that taught me how to work out the right way. Why are you lifting this way? Why are you eating like this? And this is why you lift, and this is why you hit the muscle this way, and all that. And I'll never forget that, man.
Yeah, finding those like little muscle groups that you have to work on to get the bigger muscle stronger, so you can.
Well, what I was, Sam, is I was a guy who knew how to work out, but basic workout.
Yeah.
And I just turned it up to 10. You know what I mean? I would just. but he taught me how to hit the muscle a different way, and this is why you're hitting the muscle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like a homicide. You ever, if anybody's ever been in a class with homicide, the way he breaks down moves and teaches you why you're doing the move, he did the same way with me with lifting weights.
Right.
You know, homicide is the man, and I love that guy to death. The way he teaches wrestling is so unbelievable. He will tell you why you're doing this move. He will break the move down. He will tell you how to put it in the hold, and he'll also tell you how to put it in for real too. So the same way with lifting, you know what I mean? Why am I lifting this? Or why are we doing this? And all that. And he taught me how to do all that shit, man.
So something that I've noticed about you, especially in the last several years, because you've been doing the mainstreaming of deathmatch wrestling has meant opening it up, right? Like to different types of opponents,
Absolutely.
whether it's intergender, whether it's a celebrity, all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that in all of those matches, it's not just here comes Nick Gage to kick somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Your opponent always gets a lot of defense in, or I guess they're getting offense in.
Yeah,
and it's pretty amazing to me because I think there are a lot of guys in your position that wouldn't be the case.
You know what else, Sam? I'm proud of is all these like guys who are like, got a name or who want to do this style of match, always pick me.
Yes.
So I must be doing something right. You know what I mean? I must be pretty damn good at this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean I've talked to people that have been in those matches with you, and they never say like, "Oh, he took liberties, he did this,
Never.
he did that." It's always like, "No, he's a great dude."
Yeah, never take liberties.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna take liberties on me.
Right.
And then it's on.
Then it's
But no, man. Listen, man. I want to have an awesome match. And I want to tear that shit up, and I want the fans to go home fucking happy and freaking out. And I think that's why we are fucking on fire right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's why GCW's on fire right now. You know what I mean? We have a great locker room. We have a great group of guys who are just go out there and give you 110% every time. And And as far as me, I just keep wrestling all these people, man. Look, I got Moxley jumping me. He's jumping DDT and me. Where the hell did he come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got I don't know what to call this guy, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, whatever the hell his name is these days. I got this guy jumping me, pulling the hood off.
I know everybody wants to be a
Yeah. Well, I fucked with him on Twitter a little bit. All of a sudden, he's showing up at the show, hit me with a DDT on glass. And that's probably why my elbow's all cut up like that.
Yeah.
And these are pretty big names, and they want to fucking fight me, and they want to wrestle me in these types of matches. Well, me and Mox got history, but
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. I feel like that's a different deal because Mox knows what he's getting into.
Mhm.
Do you think Zack Ryder is aware of what this even is? I mean, Zack Ryder has not been anywhere near anything like this world before.
And you know what? Before he did all that clown shit, and I was messing with him a little on Twitter. I had mad respect for that guy, man. We're talking about a guy who's been in the WWF. I don't know how many years, but it's definitely been over a decade.
Mhm.
And him and Brian Myers.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
I just respect them. Man, I'm a wrestler at heart, man, and I just respect them grinding for all them years in that place, and they just would never give him a shot, or how about he climbed the ladder and won the Intercontinental title,
WrestleMania.
100,000 people at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. How awesome was that?
Incredible. I was there for it. I remember
Yeah.
seeing it, and like nobody thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And boom, this is what happens. But then at the same time,
And now you're gonna go in the ring with me, and there's gonna be glass surrounding you, and we're gonna go, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that he's not stepping into your world so you can step into his. He's stepping into your world.
Yeah, and you step into my world, we already know what it is, man. It's violence.
Yeah.
It's blood. It's gory. and I'm gonna cut him, and he's gonna start feeling that burn and all that stuff.
Right.
Yo, man, listen, man, all the stuff we use in GCW is real. We don't use fake glass, Hollywood glass. We do not snip our bar wires. We don't do none of that stuff. It's all real.
Well, it's interesting, and I feel like a lot of people don't put that together sometimes before they're going in there. Like, I mean, we got to talk about David Arquette, and the David Arquette thing to me is very interesting because I don't know, I don't, in my head it was like 2 weeks, but it was not long before your match. I was interviewing David Arquette about why he's coming back to indie wrestling and why he's doing this, and I was like, well, what would happen? And I swear, I didn't even know he was booked to have a match with you. But I go, what in the interview? I go, what would happen if, you know, are you ready to? If somebody wants to go in there and test you, right? What would happen? And he was like, oh, I'm ready to defend myself. I'm ready. Yeah. So in my head, I'm going, and then I watch this happen in your match, right? And I can see what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, he called me out. He wanted to wrestle me. You know what I mean? It's not like I made the phone call,
right?
Or I hit some guy up to hit him up and saying, yo, you want to do a death match? This guy fucking offered me on.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So let's keep that real.
And I'm watching it, and like I'm going, I felt like he went into a panic because he felt that thing that you're describing that a lot of us don't know, that sort of that cut, right? Yeah. When you get cut, when you're in a match and you're getting cut, and you feel that burn.
Yeah. Well, I'm stabbing him with the glass.
Yeah, and people are prone to panic when they're getting stabbed, aren't they?
What does he expect?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's light tubes in the ring. He don't talk about when he gave me the diamond cutter through light tubes and my neck almost got sliced open right there.
Right.
We don't talk about that, right?
Right.
None of that shit's getting talked to. You know what I mean? Or other stuff he's done. You know. It's just, you know, he turned around, he hit that double leg, and that was just a big mistake, man. You know, you don't do that. And, you know, I seen the cut, grabbed the cut. For a second, I was like, did I just kill David Arquette? You know? That's what I thought in my head.
Right.
You know, that's the honest truth. But then I look at the cut, and I've been in a lot of these matches, you know what I mean? And it's not square, and it's not juice and heavy. You know, and that match was going great too, man. He was doing such a good job until that shit happened.
And I remember watching it. It's really, to me, the most interesting part is when he's on top of you. There's this look on your face, like you better slow down, son, or this is gonna get even more real. Yeah. Like, what are you trying to do here? Because we can go whatever speed you want to go.
Well, yeah. Well, he's telling me he's done.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, no way in hell you're done.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, that's when he came with the chair, and then the tough guy shit. He walked out of the ring.
Yeah.
All that stupid shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Then he tried to come back in and try to, like, I tried to hit him with tubes. And then he hit me with the chair. And then I hit him with the judo through, and I told him to lay down, or I'm going to fucking beat your fucking ass. You know, for real. I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to, these things are going to start wowing on your face, man.
Because you got to be getting angry at that point, too.
Yeah, well, it's fucking up my match.
Right.
Man. You know, all these fans paid a hard-earned money to watch this shit, and you want to be a tough guy, and hit me with a chair. You know, he knew he was at the wrong after he looked back in the match. I don't know. The guy gave me a mattress for the documentary.
I heard about that. Yeah. I heard about that. Have you used the mattress yet, or it's
the
just
mattress still sitting there?
Yeah.
I haven't opened it up or nothing like that.
But you're ready whenever you need a mattress.
Well, yeah, it's a king size mattress. Whenever we move into a nicer place or anything like that, I might use it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
or it might just sit there the rest of my life, packaged up, and I'll look at it when I'm older and say, "Wow, I came from David Arquette."
Right, that's your trophy for the whole experience.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's still sitting in the package.
When you turn it on, like for a match, do you have different levels, or is it just an on-off switch where it's like, because there's an intensity.
Oh, I'm in the zone. Yeah.
I mean, you know, my favorite thing, I think the scariest thing too that you do is not the light tube, is not the pane of glass, is not even the pizza cutter. It's when you run full speed at somebody, and it's like there's something animalistic about it. When you decide it's on and you're just running, because I'm sitting there going like, I mean, you can brace yourself, you can cringe if it's a glass tube, you can go like, okay, this is gonna suck, I'm about to fall through some glass. But when you see a grown-ass man running at you full speed and he looks like he's about to tear you limb from limb, that to me is the scariest thing that you do. And I think it's because of the level of intensity that you're riding at from the minute I see you walk out of the curtain.
Yeah, I'm in. It's even before I walk into that curtain, man. I'm so in the zone. It's I don't even think I sit down during show day, man. I'm just back and forth. You know what I mean? And just ideas in my head, and I'm just going back and forth. And then once that music hits, man, and then now they're fucking. I got a mosh pit going on.
Right.
These fans are crazy, man.
Right.
And the last one, they threw me against the wall. I couldn't even control myself, and that just throws me up even higher. Sometimes, I do like to run fucking someone and just punch them right in their face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I just like to do that shit.
Yeah.
I like to be unpredictable, and I think it works. Matter of fact, I did it to David Arquette when the match started.
Yeah.
And I fucking wowed number one.
Yeah. Well, it's a good indication.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
You're here. It's a good way to start things. Was it I know you were talking about what you felt CZW became, but you were synonymous with CZW for a long time. Was it difficult for you to walk away from that promotion entirely and just be like, nope, I'm not any part of what this has become?
Was it difficult? No, it wasn't difficult because we had GCW starting up.
Right.
So GCW is just like old CZW, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just sucked that it turned into what it was, you know what I mean? Like, I remember getting locked up. As soon as I got locked up, he fired my manager, Dewey Donovan.
Right.
And got rid of Nate Hatred like that.
Mm-hmm.
And got rid of some of the guys who built that company, man. And it sucks. And then he would bring in guys who were just there because it's CZW and trying to get a step up. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Yeah, it sucked. I hated it.
So you were ready to go. You weren't sitting there going like, oh, I don't know, I've been so closely associated with this thing. It was like, no, this thing's different. There's another thing starting, and it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got GCW.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I ran in the Cage of Death.
Yeah.
I let them know, man. Your shit's done and over with.
Were you surprised that, like, when you guys did that CZW run, and it's like, it felt to me like, oh my God, this is lightning in a bottle. The whole internet's talking.
The guy's lying. The man's lying. He's saying he's sending me money. He's saying he's doing this and that, and he's not doing any of that shit.
Uh-huh.
So once I found out he's lying and doing all that shit, man, as soon as I came out of there, I started talking shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And, and then we ran into them we ran into their Cage of Death to let them know, man, we're taking over and you guys are fucking done. And I think we made our point.
Yeah, I would say so. But did you expect that to go somewhere where it would be some kind of like interpromotional thing, or was that just like?
Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Sam. Man.
Yeah.
I was chilling at my house with my wife over there, and we were watching TV, and Stinky Boy Jimmy Lloyd came over with Brett Lauderdale, and they sat down. And they're like, "You want to run in the cage?" I said, "Sure. Yeah, why not?" It's the honest truth, man. So I boom, got ready, drove up there, went in the front door. The rep, if you know the rep bar, the rep tag team dudes, they were standing right there like, oh, hey, Gage. I said, hey, rep. And then I ran, went right in, hopped over the guardrail, and then that's when, like, I see my crew of fans that I knew for a while, man, and I just love them people. And shout out to Mike and shout out to Christina. They're good people. And I went right in there, man, And then I knew there were a bunch of, if I could,
say whatever you want.
Yeah, I knew they were a bunch of pussies because they grabbed Lauderdale right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't touch me. They grabbed Lauderdale right away. And what do they do with Lauderdale? They escort him out the building and don't lay a hand on him. And if you would have did that in my company, man, I would have stomped your ass out. You know what I mean? If this was old CZW, John Zandig CZW, and you ran in the Cage of Death, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt bad in the locker room, man.
So that's what happened a couple years ago. For those that don't know, you know, Cage of Death, CZW's big show, and you and Brett and a couple of the guys from GCW.
No, me and Lauderdale only ran into
Right.
that place.
Okay. You went in,
Yeah.
and you got in the ring, in the cage.
Yeah, in the cage. Yeah.
Saying,
yeah,
we're the ones
yeah,
doing shit now.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is our area.
Right.
This is GCW, and you guys are fucking done. How about
Which is
that?
so great. I mean, I love wrestling. Like, I feel like that the fans in that building must have been losing their minds for something like that happening.
Yeah, they were going nuts, and it was a straight shoot. It was no work. Nobody called me and said, "Yo, let's do this angle" or anything like that. None of that corny ass shit. I don't do that shit anyway. It was a straight shoot. I went in there, and then corny ass DJ High got in my face and tried to like talk to me and say it's about me or you, and I'm like, get out of my fucking face, or you want to fight? And I just, and then they try to send in like students, and I'm like, all right, here we go, man. I'll throw these motherfuckers. I don't care.
Yeah.
And they did nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, what were the people there? Because that's the thing that's interesting about it is I would imagine there are a lot of people even working for CZW that were on some level happy to see you. You're a legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But we had a statement to make. Even Tremont got a little tough, and he pushed me.
Mm-hmm.
I pushed him back, and I said, "You want to go? Let's go, man."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he wanted any sauce either. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Later on down the road, he wanted some sauce. We had that trilogy, man, and I almost died. And what a matches.
Yeah.
But we were just setting the tempo and letting everybody know, man, we ain't fucking around. We're here to stay. This is our new company, and by the way, we're gonna be doing death matches, because that was the same guy who wanted to try to be a WWE product.
Mm-hmm.
And no shots at WWE, because I like WWE, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wrestlers are awesome. I think I wrestled almost half of that locker room.
Yeah.
Before they got signed.
Yeah.
And
how great is it to see Drew Gulak on WWE just crushing
I was
it?
About to bring it up, man. I love my boy Drew. Shout out to Drew Gulak, man. Actually, I owe Drew Gulak a match.
You do?
Because I got locked up before we were supposed to have our tag team match, and he's just awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good dude, beast in the ring, submission specialist, and they're allowing him to do him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so good to see.
This guy knows. He's another one like Homicide is.
Mm-hmm.
Could bust down a move and break it fully down from head to toe. You know what I mean? So, it's just all love for Drew Gulak, man. And I just love seeing him win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And all my friends win, man. I'm not a hater. I'm a congratulator. I'll never be a hater. I'll never be like, damn, man, what the fuck, man? That guy's winning and I'm over here. I'll never be like that, man.
Have you always been that way? There's a weird side to you, and it's only weird because of all these other sides to you. Like you strike me as gracious, which is not the way I would describe you when you're doing your thing in the ring, Yeah,
well, in the ring's a different thing, man. Once we're in that square circle, man, I'm there to win. I'm there to fucking punish you. I'm there to get the fans rowdy. I'm there to, there's a lot of things I'm there for. But when I'm in the locker room, man, I feel like I'm the leader of that locker room, especially GCW. I run that locker room, man. You know what I mean? I'm there to get the boys fired up. I feel like they see, I get them fired up. Even the CZW locker room, man, I got everybody fired up, man. And I feel like that was my role as a leader, man. I've been in this business forever. And just to see, let's bring up Matt Warner, man. Another guy who I love, man.
Yeah.
Just to see me fire him up to go out there and do it, man. He's like, I love this shit, Nikki, man. This is great, man. And it goes down to Manders, number 1 Manders, man. Another young guy who's doing this thing right now, man. I remember being on the road with all these guys, man, and just firing them up or having talks with them and saying, like, listen, you need to get to that next level, which means you need to start wrestling next level guys. And I see Manders doing that right now.
Yeah.
And I remember having that conversation with him a year ago before the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you need to get in the ring. And I remember talking to Lauderdale, like, yo, check out Manders, man, or check out this guy. And it's just, I feel like I'm that guy too.
Yeah. I mean, have you always been that way since you started,
Yes.
or when you were younger, were you more,
No,
I don't know, cutthroat?
Nah, never that. My brother was cutthroat.
Yeah.
My brother was the opposite of what I was.
Mm-hmm.
I play for a baseball team, so I was always the captain. You know what I mean? I always talk to the fucking guys, like, let's fucking go, man. Let's pick it up, all that stuff. And Chris was the other way. Chris was about Chris.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about Chris, And me, I was all about team. I was always it's teamwork, man. Like in GCW, man, it can't take one guy to make a company.
Right.
It's fucking teamwork, man. I don't care what you say. You could be a good matchmaker, but guess what? You need them wrestlers to step up and fucking tear the house down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need camera crew to get good footage to make it look like this fucking product's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You need good referees. I hate refs. Everybody knows that. But you need good referees to give you, the shit that you need in that ring. And it's just teamwork, man.
Yeah.
And I've always been about teamwork, man.
Yeah.
All the time. I always grew up with a group of friends. I called them the circle. I had a falling out once I, went into drugs and everything like that. They kind of drifted away. But before that, we always hung out together, man. And we always watched our back. You know what I mean? And I just carried that on to wrestling,
When you have a death match where you literally die because of the death match, right? I mean, you had this match, you bled out, you had to be taken away in the helicopter, the hospital helicopter. You died in the helicopter, right?
Yeah. Well, they couldn't get the fucking ambulance on the fucking property for some odd reason. So the helicopter flies down, and I just knew it, man. I looked under my armpit, and it was just bleeding buckets of blood, and I knew I was in bad shape. But I'm kind of crazy, man, where, like, I do not want to lose to this guy, and I do not want to be that guy where, like, I never backed out of a match, you know what I mean? Never stopped. Oh, damn, I'm cut up, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
I never done any of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, tape it up, man. Get me back out there, man. I could still go, man. You know what I mean? We'll deal with this later. And, shout out to that nurse who said no. And I called her a bitch, man. I was like, fuck you, bitch. Tape it up. And I felt so bad, man. She was such a nice lady. But shout out to her for not taping it up.
Yeah.
And waiting for the helicopter to fly down. And my boy Loudy, who runs On Point Wrestling, he got my bags, got everything I needed, got me into the helicopter, and then I remember just, passing out, and that's where I flatlined right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. One of the most interesting things too, when you talk about what you were saying to the nurse, is they did get it on tape, and you're not only you're talking to the nurse, but you're also saying, make sure the tape is running. So that people can see that I'm saying I want this match to continue. Like, it was so important to you. You weren't worried about the fact that, like, you're losing all of your blood. You're worried about the fact that you don't want people to think that you wanted to leave. You need the world to know I'm being forced out of here.
Yeah, I was cutting a promo while I was dying.
While you were dying.
Yeah,
your last words would have been a promo, which is, I mean, it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, and that just shows you that I love this fucking sport, man, right?
Yeah, it really, really does.
Yeah.
Does that, when that happens, does that change your perspective on other injuries that happen in the ring? Like, when you get a cut and you're like, oh, this seems really bad, and you look at it and you're like, nah, this is nowhere near as bad as the time that I died. Well, I can handle this.
I treat deathmatch wrestling different now.
Yeah.
So I kind of know how to do things different than before. I was very, like, I don't know how to put it, but now I'm very cautious. I know how to maneuver around in that ring.
You figured out the science.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sam. That was awesome of you to do that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured out the science. I felt good saying that, Sam. You're my boy, man. Give me a little pound on that one. Yeah, so I figured out the science, man. I figured out how to use these weapons. I figured out how to land on them.
Yeah.
I figured out how to use them the way I want to use them and stuff like that. And, but, you're going to get cut still. But you know, there's a way of using them and being safe with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That sounds kind of crazy.
I mean, it sounds a little crazy, but like if anybody has been able to learn by doing,
Yeah.
I would say that it's you. You've been in every conceivable.
Man, I'm on like 3 generations, man.
Yeah.
Of wrestlers, man. Like it's just one after another, man. You know, it's just I just keep going through, and these young guys, man. Another generation coming up. You got jeez, who you got? Fucking Alex Cologne's a fucking beast. He just called me out. I was like, fuck, man, this guy just called me out. This guy just never stops, man. God, his arm was this bloody mess, and he just keeps going, you know?
Now that you're talking about like the people now, we were disgracing the staple gun earlier, which is fine, but there was a great staple gun spot that Effie did where he stapled his lip as he was kissing the other.
I didn't say it.
Oh, it was great. It was great. It just happened, it might have been at Zombie Walk.
Oh, Zombie Walk.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's sometimes hard for me to watch the show because I'm getting in the zone.
Yeah.
Especially that I had Stinky Boy Jimmy Lloyd, so you know I really wanted to smash him really bad, and but shout out to Effie, man.
Effie's killing
I'll give
it.
you a little story about Effie. I showed up to a show in Chicago. That's when I first wrestled Effie, and Lauderdale was all loving this guy, man. He's like, oh, this guy's awesome. He's great and stuff like that. And I said, oh yeah, he's really that good. Okay. And I went and got our crew. We have a good crew of guys who build weapons for us and build it safely. We just put Gene. Gene is one of our guys who was with us since the old CZW days. We just put him in the Hall of Fame, man. The Deathmatch Hall of Fame, which was awesome. But these guys, I went to them guys and I said, we're doing a light tube glass death match. And Effie had no clue we were doing it. Yeah. And I just call my own rules. I'm a shot caller, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Tell me no?
Right.
And then we're going to have a conversation in the corner, and you're going to say yes after a while, or you'll probably be snoring, and I'm just going to have it anyway.
Like, I don't know if anybody heard, but you're the god of this shit. Yeah. You don't say no to God.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I back my words up.
Right.
So I went in, and Effie brought it, man. So, oh, man. It was just, he got my respect then, and then, you know, once you got my respect, and then we could talk, and we could kick it, and he's just such a nice guy, man. Awesome dude. He's hungry, and he wants the shit. He will not back down from nobody.
Yeah.
So, that's a little story about Effie, man. He just, you know, when I was bringing it to him, man, I was putting him through some glass, man. Carving him up, stabbing him. I broke a beer bottle. I remember that, and I start carving his arm up. And he just kept coming, man.
And that's not those, like you said before, that's not those movie beer bottles.
Oh, they were real beer bottles, man. We were in the crowd, and they were giving buckets of bottles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where they give you like what 5 in the bucket or something like that. And I grabbed the bucket out of the guy's hand, and like when I did that, the bottles fell out and broke, and I hit him with the fucking can, and then I grabbed the bottle and started carving them up, man.
You're like, oh, I got this bucket. I'll use this bucket. And you see all these broken bottles on the ground. You're like, oh, better than a bucket.
Well, you know what? I think sometimes people get used to me performing the way I do. And don't give me my respect sometimes. So I have to go out there and show them that this is my fucking house.
Right.
And this is what I do. You know what I mean? And you better respect me, man. And that comes from the office. And that comes from, you know, the boys and shit, not, you know?
So is that going to be a rude awakening? I mean, one of the biggest things people are talking about on the internet right now is what we were talking about before. Matt Cardona coming into this world. And, like, you know, you took some shots on Twitter or whatever, making fun of his action figure collecting and maybe not knowing exactly who he was.
I was just busting his chops a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and shout out to the action figure people, man. Always be yourself, man. If that's what you like to do, then collect them and do that. I was just messing around with them, and I guess he took it.
He took it personally.
He took it really personally.
He took it personally. Yeah. But then you showed up too. So he showed up at Zombie Walk, dropped you.
Yeah. Then I came to his what is that?
His live
podcast.
Yeah.
With the what are they? The dolls or the action figure things. And, you know, he had like 30 security already gripping me up. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Which, like,
and then he ran down from the stage, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, Sam.
yeah.
I had a fork in my pocket, and I was gonna stab him. You know, where I was gonna try to stab him.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
Trust me. I believe. I'm
gonna keep
laughing.
it
I
real.
believe you.
Yeah, I had it in my pocket, but I didn't even get close to him, man. And then he comes running down from the stage like a tough guy. When I'm in a hucklebuck from one cop who's got my bad arm in this way.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. I don't even know who this guy was. And then there was like 10 other guys holding me back. And I don't even think one guy was holding him back. Maybe his boy Brian was holding him back. And then he's like, come on, Gage. And I'm like, well, let me the fuck go and we can come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to show up there and make a fucking statement.
But who needs that many security guards for an action figure podcast?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Right?
I didn't understand it.
I mean, Nick Gage, I have all the respect for you in the world, but I have you on my podcast right now. I didn't bring it. There's no security here.
Yeah, we have no security.
No
here.
security.
You know why? Because you're a real one, Sam.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you're a real motherfucker. So anybody out there that thinks they're going to punk Sam, that shit ain't happening while I'm around, man. Anybody fucking with Sam, they're fucking with me, man. Matter of fact, man, we're going to make you gang affiliated right now.
No way.
MDK, part of the MDK gang right here, right now, my boy Sam.
Yes.
So that means
Yes.
nobody fucks with you.
Mm-mm.
And if they fuck with you, they're fucking with me. If you fuck with me, I put a ski mask on with a weapon in my hand.
Oh, I love the sound of that.
So
That's great.
welcome to the fucking gang, Sam.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, man. You know, you showed me how's that?
Hospitality?
Hospitality, man. I could spit that one out.
That's all right.
As soon as I came in your house, you had chicken, rice, and broccoli up there ready for me, man.
Whatever you need.
And you were nothing but cool and nice to me, man. So you're part of my motherfucking gang right now.
I
man.
appreciate that. I'm glad to be here. And you know what? Zack Ryder was trying to get cute on Twitter, and he was taking pictures of me on the NXT pre-show because, you know, now I got the bald head.
Yeah,
I
kinda
got
like
the
the bald
beard.
head.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like it.
But he was like, he took a picture of me in my suit.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, Nick Gage cleans up real nice. Like, being like it's an insult to compare you to me, but I feel like now that I'm gang affiliated, that's not even an insult, is it?
No, not an insult in my book.
I appreciate
You know?
that.
You know? Not at all, man. You know what? How about this? We just do this. Fuck you, Zack Ryder.
Yeah,
Right
fuck
there.
you.
Is this Zack Ryder now?
Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona,
Oh, no,
Matt
no.
Cardona.
That's right. Zack Ryder's owned by that Vince McMahon guy.
That's
so
right.
you got to be Matt Cardona.
That's right. Who
Yeah.
owns Nick Gage?
Nobody but myself.
That's right.
And I also got the MDKallday.com up too, man.
You do.
Yes, we opened up a fucking website, and I turned into like my boy Cali Mike or MDK Mike. We turned this site into like an apparel company, man. I had a brainchild when I was in there, man, and what I wanted to do when I came out with like my merch and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to like not only make MDK, I wanted to make it like an apparel company, like a brand, you know what I'm saying? And then finally I met the right guy. God, I went through some guys, man, that were just like, all right, this might be the guy. And then, geez, he's a weirdo. And it's like, damn, he's not the guy. I'm stop answering his phone calls. And then you got the guys who try to be sneaky, you know what I mean, with the money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And finally I met Cali Mike, man, and we turned it into a brand. So now we're signing wrestlers. We're making T-shirts for wrestlers. We're signing wrestlers. So we got Dickinson, we got Schlack, we got Jimmy Lloyd. You know, we're doing T-shirts. We're doing pennants, and you know we're gonna get this podcast thing open up too, man, very soon.
I love that.
And
Wait till that Sam Roberts MDK T-shirt comes out.
Yeah, we're gonna make one of them.
We're doing it.
Matter of fact, as soon as I get off, you know, doing this thing with you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a fucking shot call.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get that T-shirt made fast.
Yes.
Oh, once the guy picks me up in that car,
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna make a call and we're gonna get the Sam Roberts MDK T-shirt.
I can't wait.
made.
I can't wait. That Not Sam MDK collaboration.
You damn right,
That's
man.
what the world's been waiting for.
Yeah, seriously, I'm serious, man.
I am too.
Yeah, I love how you be yourself, and it's just dope, man. That's what MDK is all about, man. Be yourself, be true to yourself, never be fake, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like the way the Dark Side of the Ring came out?
Well, so let's get into that. So I was very nervous about that, Sam.
Mhm.
At first, I said no twice.
Really?
Yes, I was very nervous. I just didn't want to like get railroaded or just tell my whole life story. You know what I mean?
And you never know the editing
Yes,
What angle are they gonna take? Yeah, I get
you
it.
know, and we're gonna bring my family into it. And it's just not just me and all that. And then a couple people that I trust would talk me into it. And it just Evan and the people over there were just great, and it turned out awesome, man.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they even had Sanj on there, my wife, and
Mhm.
woo, I said no like 3 times putting her on camera, man, and she went on camera, man, and she did an awesome job, So I just didn't want her to like get on camera and then like read the bullshit that people write.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
keep
mean?
I keep
And
my family away from
she don't,
everything.
yeah, she don't know about that. She just loves showing up to a wrestling show, watching a wrestling show, get into it,
Mhm.
and yeah. Sometimes you'll see her in my matches. I remember in my last match, I turn around, she's in the front row going, "Fuck them up," and I was like, "Hell yeah!" And it got me fired up. So I was really nervous about that, but them guys treated me with nothing but respect, and I think it turned out awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too, and I think it turned a lot of people on
Yeah.
to your story and what you do and everything. And I mean, look, man, I think that independent wrestling is, I mean, it's right there. It's about to have another boom. Now that COVID is over, now that shows are opening again, I really think that you're going to see it through the summer, and by the fall, independent wrestling is going to be as hot as it's ever been, if
I
not
hope so.
hotter. But I also, man, people are looking at death matches differently. Like you said, you're a scientist now. You're a deathmatch scientist. You understand how to do this stuff. It's not reckless, right? I see a world where you are competing in a mainstream national or international promotion, whether it be I see you running in at the end of a takeover
Oh.
and going wild in NXT.
Wow, that'd be crazy, right?
That'd be amazing. You know how many? I mean, people would never stop talking if Nick Gage showed up in an arena and
Listen, man. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, man. That's my motto. I always go with that. Unless you suck at wrestling and you're not trained or anything like that, I'll never wrestle you.
Mhm.
Listen, man. If it works and hell yeah, man, I would do shit like that, man. Why not?
Yeah.
Listen, right now in my career, right now, Sam, I'm all about having fun and tearing shit up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple.
I love
Keeping
it.
it very simple, man. Have fun, tear it up, And if I stop having fun, and then I'm done, man. Or my body can't go no more, or shit like that, and then I'm done, man. But for now, man, I'm having fun. My body feels well. Besides this stupid shit and that stupid injury, that was my first injury, by the way, Sam. I tore my calf muscle.
And
Two calf muscles in my leg. I tore them, and that was my first ever like sports like real injury besides getting stabbed.
yeah.
That was
Yeah, who would have thought that you would die before you had a real injury?
Yeah, that was my first injury ever, man.
Wow, but so that the calf injury was the first time you went down and like
had to rehab.
Rehab couldn't do
all
anything.
that. I'm in the boot. I'm in the crutches. It sucked. You're just sitting there and you can't do nothing. It just sucked, man. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good in that ring where I know like what moves to do, when to do them, and shit like that, and how to land the right way and all that stuff. But like, that damn fucking ring mat, man. That shit was.
Yeah. How did the calf thing happen?
Well, the ring apron, man.
Yeah.
The shit was too big for the ring. So what they did is they want to put an 18 by 18 ring apron on there on a 16 ring.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got fucking, it just looked crazy. And I was in a 6-man, and I was telling the boys, like, look at this ring. It's crazy looking. And I went for the boot scrape, and as soon as I went, I felt like a baseball bat hit the back of my leg.
Oh.
And I know about sports. I know about injuries and shit. So I thought it was the Achilles. And I continued wrestling. And,
Yeah.
And listen, you want to hear the funny part is, all the boys thought I was just selling. So they're working, they're fucking my leg up.
Uh-huh.
And they think I'm selling, but really, I'm really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up for one of my moves, and I just fell down, man. And once I fell down, I had to get to the back. And that shit hurt so bad. And then once I seen the sports medicine doctor, and we went through the MRIs and all that stupid shit. and it was like, no Achilles there.
Yeah.
No tear there.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because,
Yeah. So I guess, going down for, what was it, 8 months?
Yeah. Well,
Better than it could have been.
Well, what happened is so it healed on its own, but my dumbass takes the freaking boot thing they give me. I take it off. I walk all the time, and it just healed wrong.
Right.
So I was wondering why I couldn't do calf raises, man, at the gym and shit like that. And it healed wrong, man, and it set me back a little bit. So I had to go back in and get surgery for a second, a little touch up, and now it's good. I have I have 4th match back since then, and I have felt no pain in it or no problems at all.
Did you get that thing? This might be a silly question asking you of all people, but did you get that thing where you are worried about it? A lot of guys, after they get injured, they're worried about doing it again, or all of a sudden they just have this psychological thing where they're not as confident in that body part as they used to be.
Yeah, first couple matches,
Yeah.
definitely, Sam. Yes, definitely. Especially pushing off of it. It's my strong leg. It's my right leg, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do a lot of pushing off the right leg. Yeah, and then, but now I don't even think about it, man. It feels good. I do this kind of twist, like I go to the second rope. I call it a Vader with a twist into a senton, where I go and then I twist into it, and I need that right leg to push to hit the twist. And I did that a couple times, and I nailed it, and I felt great when I hit it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
So, but I get what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
I remember watching that Bret Hart documentary, and he's like, once you start thinking about getting injured in the ring, it's over.
Yeah.
Because you just can't think like that.
Yeah, or you see these, I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but you see these UFC fighters that go for fight after fight after fight, never getting knocked out. They get knocked out once, and all of a sudden, their chin's more vulnerable. I don't know if it's because you get hit in the button and the button gets softer. I don't know if it's because they're worried about getting knocked out now because they've been knocked out once, but it changes them,
Yeah, well, unless you're Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my guy, man. Man, he hit Edwards on he hit Leon Edwards on that chin, man, right in that last round.
Yeah.
I wish he would have attacked him right there, man, because if he would have attacked him, I think he could have got the finish, man. But did you watch the fight?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about in the 5th round when he bopped him, man.
Yeah.
But he was going through problems through his training camp with the cuts and all that stuff, and then he's a different dude, man.
When did you get the confidence that you have now? Right now, you've got this confidence where you can clearly say to anybody that asks you that you're the best person doing this. When did you realize, oh yeah, I'm the best?
Well, I just wrestled, I just wrestled some top guys, man. It's just, I went on a run. I don't know what year, 2018, right before the pandemic. I ran on a year of, I just wrestled so many different type of people.
Yeah.
And so many different styles of people that it just builds your confidence up, man. I remember there's this guy, if you remember Tom Carter, Reckless Youth.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, Reckless Youth. Yeah.
He would come down to the CCW school and train us and stuff. And he always told me that a guy who wrestles, pretty much every weekend is going to be better than a guy who wrestles once a month.
Right.
Because I used to be, all right, well, I'll wrestle CCW, and then that's it. And we wrestle once a month. You got to get in that ring, man, and you got to wrestle more. You got to get that confidence built up. And then, I don't know, man. And I just got a mental state that I have where I feel like I'm a fucking animal, man. I heal good. The cuts, man. I fucking make sure I clean them. I don't go to the fucking hospital. None of that shit, man, unless it's really bad. I don't it's a mental state, man. And I just feel like, I feel like I'm on top right now,
How long? Yeah, it'd be hard to argue. How long does it take you to get out of that place? You're talking about being in this mental state all day when it's the day of a match, pacing, doing everything, getting ready. When you go out there, it's an explosion. How long what's the come down like?
It takes a while, man. Well, it depends, man. The shower could be tough.
Yeah.
The shower's tough. I ain't gonna lie, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You get hit with. You ever get hit with light tubes or have a 200 light tube death match or glass or anything, man?
Yeah, I have not.
Shower could be tough, man. That's probably the come down right there in the shower.
Yeah, because I guess the adrenaline is starting to fade, and then the shower hits all those wounds and glass particles that are still in you.
Yeah, but the key of the shower is once you're done the shower and go through hell in that shower, it's the best feeling ever, man, because you just feel so much better. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I'd be fired up. Sometimes I don't even go to the back. I just stay out with the fans, and I kick it with the fans and hang out with them.
Yeah.
Because I'm so fired up still and shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I mean, you know, if you're doing photo ops, the best time to pay for a Nick Gage photo op is when you're all bloodied up after one of your matches, right?
I don't charge the fans any price.
You don't?
No, man. All my photos are free with the fans, man. They made me who I am right now, man. So I would never charge a fan unless it's like I'm working with a guy who says, all right, you know, I do a signing or something like that.
Of course.
But if it's just me, nah, man. I mean, some of these fans will slide me money, and I'll be like, nah, man, no, man. You don't understand. It goes both ways, man. You guys gave me the motivation and the drive to go out there and do this shit, man. If them people weren't chanting MDK and they weren't coming to these shows and they weren't going nuts, man, I don't know if I'd still be doing this. You know?
Who would have thought? In a world full of carnies, the one good person is the guy with the pizza cutter.
Yeah, right.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's crazy,
it's amazing.
Right?
It's an amazing world. Well, Nick Gage, this has been awesome. I could sit here with you for another 6 hours to tell you the truth. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, Sam, I want to keep it real with you, man. I appreciate you having me on this show, man. I feel like I'm the first deathmatch guy to be on this show, but I feel like it just made me feel like, you know, I made it a little bit.
Oh,
being
please.
on your show, Sam. Seriously,
please.
Man.
This is for me, man.
Nah, man, you're a good dude, man. You're a good interviewer. And just I don't know, you made me feel good to be on the show today, man. Like,
well,
I woke up this morning like, damn, man, I gotta go do Sam Roberts.
I mean, I can't. That's crazy to hear.
And I was fired up, and I just wanted to bring my wife. I never bring Sanj anywhere, and you know, I just wanted to bring her and show her the stuff, man, and just I don't know, man. So thank you for having me, man.
Well, I mean, you could ask Giancarlo how much I've been working on getting this done, and be like, how can I make this happen? What do I have to do? Blah, blah, blah. So don't think that that this is just me being like, man, why don't you? This is awesome. This is awesome.
And I'll keep it real with you, Sam. You can ask Giancarlo this, man. I don't do this shit, man. I don't do these podcasts. I don't do none of that stuff, man. So to do yours, man, you know, it was an honor, and I want to say thank you. I want to give a shout out to my Murder, Death, Kill gang, which you're part of now.
It's great.
You're gang affiliated.
Yes, I am.
I want to give a shout out to free my boy 2-6. He should be coming up for parole. I want to give a shout out to my boy Sultan and B More. That's Eastern Block crew. And I want to say rest in peace, Nate Hatcher, and rest in peace, my brother Justice Payne.
Yes, absolutely. And you can get you on Cameo. Get them Nick Gage cameos up too.
Oh wow! Thank you for.
Let's plug it.
Look at me. Let's plug it right now.
Let's get some Nick Gage cameos.
No, listen, man. Hit me up on Cameo, man. I love doing them, not just because you know it's money in my pocket. I keep them low. They're $25. Some people keep telling me to raise it to $50, and I say no way, man. I do this because these fans are awesome, and I really love doing the cameos. And you could go to mdkallday.com, man. We are on fire right now with that website. That's in a fucking apparel company, a brand, and we're setting, man. We're doing awesome on that shit. I'm fired up.
Don't forget too. I mean, people watching this as we put it out, end of July, Atlantic City.
Oh, the homecoming.
GCW homecoming, 2 nights. Night 1, it's already announced. GCW title's on the line, right? Nick Gage versus Matt Cardona.
I'm gonna carve him up.
You are?
Yeah, for you.
I appreciate that. I've been waiting to see somebody carve that guy up.
When I wrestled RS Pussy, I literally tried to carve his back with MDK.
Yeah.
In his back with a piece of glass. But he's just bleeding too. I made him bleed so much that you couldn't see it.
It's hard to read.
So, Matt Cardona, I'm going to carve your back up with MDK.
Oh.
And then, you know what? I'm going to try to give his ass a $150. You know what a $150 is, Sam?
I don't.
That means when I hit your fucking body or your face, you have to get 150 stitches or staples so he could wake up every morning knowing that the god of this shit. Nick fucking Gage did this to me.
Yes. I love it. I love it. You know, William Regal told me a story. He said he knew guys that when he wanted to be evil, he would think about the guys that he knew growing up in England that were really evil, that it would be like, you want to get revenge on somebody, you're not going to kill them. You're going to cut them, and you're going to leave a scar. So that every morning they wake up and they look in the mirror and they see it. And Matt Cardona is going to be, he's doing back day in the gym. He's doing back, and he's looking in the mirror, and he's going to look, and he's going to see.
He's a mirror guy all the time.
Of course he is. He's taking selfies. He's going to see that MDK scarred in his back forever.
Yeah.
As a reminder.
You damn fucking right.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Let's send it off with, it's MDK all fucking day.
Yes, it is.
Free my boy 2-6.